Hey paddlers, my name's Norton-Smith from Paddle Fitness.
And I'm Josh Meyer from Physiologic, and we're teaming up to bring you guys the best in education on technique and injury prevention.
That's right, Josh. So as a coach, I obviously see paddlers every day with my business, and I can obviously improve your technique and show you technique issues that I see that hopefully will make you more efficient. And then Josh,
my job is to work out where some of your physical limitations are that might prevent you getting the ultimate technique, and try and help you to achieve that, and also to improve your outcome if you're injured, or even to prevent injury.
That's right, Josh. So obviously we're going to try and do a heap of these over the coming months and over winter. So stay tuned for more of these, and we'll get straight into it now. Thank you. Okay, paddlers, so our first one today is going to be obviously posture. So posture is really important to get the transfer from your heels, so through your leg drive, through your hips, up into your shoulders as you rotate. So what I see a lot of is this slouching action. Now, there's a number of, reasons for this, but for me as the coach, what I try and do is obviously, at the moment, my hips are actually pointed backwards, okay? So my hips are pointed up. Normally when you paddle, you need your shoulders to go forward of your hips, and what that then does is you have this slouching action. So you have this rollness through the back. Now, for me, your first thing is actually going to be to try and fix the hips, okay? So hopefully we would have worked out your correct leg length, and now we're going to get our hips right. And you actually want your hips to tilt forward. So you want that to give your upper body a natural leaning forward effect, and then that'll actually link everything up a little bit better. So if you can actually not push yourself into the back of the seat, but really sort of get into that back bow of the seat, not really pushing into the back of it, and now so you've got your hips pointing forward, and now naturally, even if I was slouched, my upper body wants to go forward as well, okay? Now, we've fixed the bottom half of our posture, so now we've got to fix the top. So if you've got this slouch action here, it doesn't matter what you do with your leg drive or your hips, your power's going to stop here, and all you're going to do is just paddle with your arms and your traps, okay? So again, it's really important to have a really straight spine, shoulders about either vertical or an inch in front of your waist, and that's our posture. So that's how we want to be able to sit in the boat. So if I'm going to then rotate from there, as I drive my legs, my hips are going to rotate nicely, and my shoulders are going to come round as well. And that's really what we're trying to work on. So as a coach, that's the setup I'd like you to have. We're now going to bring Josh in, because if you can't get into this sort of setup, you've obviously got some muscle issues or some tension, and he's going to take us through some exercises for you to help those as well.
Okay guys, so you've just heard what the perfect setup position is for when you're sitting in the boat, and unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that I see who really just can't get in that position because their body just doesn't allow it. And there's a couple of key things that really prevent that, and the first one's hamstring tightness. And I know a lot of us have this out there, and it's a really easy way to test. You can just try and touch your toes or whatever, but hamstring tightness is a key issue why boat setup and posture in the boat is a real problem. The second one's thoracic extension, okay? So Julian just talked about how he sees a lot of people rounded forwards like this and unable to sort of get up and hinge forward at the hips. And that basically is a combination of either hamstring tightness or thoracic spine extension. Thoracic spine extension is the middle of your back. So I'm going to show you a couple of great ways that you can get your body able to do some of those technical things a little bit better and please your coach by getting the ideal setup. Okay paddlers, hamstring flexibility. Let's show you how to get better hamstring flexibility so that sitting in the boat and getting the ideal setup is easy. What I want you to do is grab your paddle, first thing you need, and then I want you to stand in such a way that you're holding the paddle connecting to 3 points on your body. Firstly the head, secondly the middle part of your back, and thirdly the tailbone. And so you're just going to hold the paddle on those 3 points. Now if I just with relaxed knees soften my knees and flex my trunk forward, but notice the paddle remains on those 3 contact points. So in other words, I'm not flexing forward. You have to control what happens through your trunk. If you go far enough controlling your trunk, you'll notice a very strong hamstring stretch begin to occur through the back of your legs, and that's what we want, nice strong hamstring stretch. So it's starting here, 3 contact points, hamstring stretch as strong as you can take, hold for about 4 or 5 seconds, and then come up slightly, release the stretch, back down, holding 4 or 5 seconds, back up. Loading your hamstrings with body weight is a far more effective way to get hamstring flexibility than sitting down and trying to touch your toes or pulling your knees over your head or so on and so forth. Control through your trunk, keeping good extension through your spine, getting better hamstring flexibility is the best way to do it. So guys, I want you to do this 20 reps twice daily for a good few weeks, and then let's see how that hamstring flexibility goes and see how much easier it is for you to sit in the boat. The next thing we're going to show you is how to get better extension through your thoracic spine, and I've got a great stretch for that, so let's go find out. Alright paddlers, thoracic extension. So what is thoracic extension? Pretty simple. Are you curved or are you extended through the middle of the back or the thoracic spine? Being extended and hinged forward was exactly how we saw Julian's preference as far as setting yourself up in the boat. And so I'm going to show you a great little exercise to get more thoracic extension, which will help you get over the front of your hips and get that ideal position. So, really simple. Grab a towel, roll it into a pretty firm ball. You can use a couple of tennis balls, or there's heaps of other self-massage tools out there, but this will do just to start with. Place it down on the ground, and then I want you to make sure that as you do it, the towel sits, as you lie down on it, in the middle of your back, okay? You're gonna let yourself then arch over the towel, all right? And the head can hit the ground, and the arms will come over the top of the body, almost touching the ground. I want you to go as far as you can, but don't bend your elbows. Your elbows must be straight, okay? And then holding there, if you want, you can lift your bottom off the ground a fraction, but allow your back to sort of arch right over. And this is one that I want you to sustain. So a good 1 to 2 minutes here. Try and do some deep breathing as well while you're in this position to expand your rib cage a little more. So it's up, deep breath, let it out. Now you might do 15 to 20 deep breaths in that position, and that'd be a nice way to sustain some extension into your thoracic spine and get you sorted for a good setup position in the boat.
Hey paddlers, so we've got some great exercises there which are really simple from Josh. So I actually didn't know the paddling one down through your back, so I'll definitely be practicing that one as well. But yeah, hamstrings and through the thoracic spine are definitely the two that you've really got to try and work on. So another one from my point of view is obviously trying to get those hips to come forward. Now these seat pads are really good, all right, so they obviously come in a 10, 15 or 20 mil. The 15 and the 20 mil are probably the preferred ones that I try and sell my clients anyway. They give you enough height that you can sort of get that ratio from the bottom of your heels to the bottom of the seat and get you a little bit up. The issue with going too high is obviously it's going to affect your balance. So if you're a bit limited with balance, go to the 15, but the 20 is definitely recommended. We at Paddle to Fitness really Velcro ours in, because then you can either, if you're in an elite ski that you can easily paddle in flat water, you can put a 20 mil seat pad in. If you're going to do a downwind and it's 20 or 30 knots, you know, rip it out, get down to the base. It's probably not as efficient then with the seat pad, but you're going to improve your balance anyway. But the one thing with these seat pads I do find are people put them in the wrong position. They actually class them as a seat pad, and I know that's what their term is, but when they put it in, they actually put it in so it's in the middle of the seat like that. Okay, so you are actually sitting here on the seat, all right? So that's where your sort of hips are going to be. But this whole bit here is down your hamstrings, and what that does is actually tilt your hips backwards. All right, so while we're trying to tilt your hips forward, this is actually tilting yourself backwards. So if you do all of Josh's exercises with hamstrings and glutes and you got a seat pad in it like this, it's actually not going to improve. You're physically going to improve, but your setup's all wrong, okay? So the idea of these seat pads is that you've got to sit just that crease of your bottom there right on this front edge of the seat pad, all right? So this is actually all the way up to about where your coccyx is going to be, okay? So when you put it in, you sort of put it right, so the front point there is going to be there, and this back bit's going to ride nice and high, okay? And as you saw, this seat pad was in when we did our first setup at the start of the video, so that's why I'm really nice and high. My hips are naturally pointed forward through this, and obviously if you keep doing the exercises, then that's going to improve. So try this. If you've got one in there, try and rip it out, Velcro it in, in and just see what improvement that does as well.
So paddlers, thanks for watching. We really hope you've enjoyed it, and we want you... Fucking shut up. Now just give me a break. Ready? So paddlers, thanks for watching. We really hope you got a lot out of the exercises. We'd love you to keep going with those. Also give us some feedback whether or not they've helped you over the coming weeks. Julie and I are really passionate about combining technique and injury prevention, and in the coming weeks we'll be showing you a whole lot more about how this relates and how you guys can keep yourselves fit and healthy and on the water all the time.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. So obviously, working together with a professional physio and a professional coach, we're going to try and teach you that good technique is going to be prevent injury. But obviously, if you've got an injury, which obviously you need to see Josh or a professional physio to get fixed, that you really do need to look at your technique as well. So they virtually go hand in hand. So hopefully, good technique you won't have any injuries at all. But if you have got injuries, then we really do need to have a look at your technique. So through these videos, hopefully we're going to explain a bit of that. But again, as Josh said, thanks very much for watching, and give us some feedback, and we'll see you soon.